They don't get it still. Never did. Yeah. They don't get it still. Wow, wow. They don't get it still. Never did. Yeah. Cold currency, no urgency. Bag so heavy, got no energy for energy. Whip so clean, you know what I mean. Not so different, you don't caught in a vein. Cold currency, no urgency. Everything is on and that's a certainty. Bag so long, I lost count of the sum. Started with nothing, now look what I become. Woke up on a Tuesday, I never bag in the making. Man around me fake, had to tell by the shaking. The mirror on the jeans, till around on the waist. Whole fit, cause a brick, never one second guess. Whip sitting pretty on them 24s. When I was in the city, got a view of the floor. Below all the man, I'm used to talk on my name. Now they wanna link, funny how it changed. Rich and Millie wrist, silent but speaks. Loving time zone, every other week. Due by Monday, praised by the weekend. Bags off assistant, never had a weekend. Portfolio heavy, play on the speed dial. Been moving different, been moving for a meanwhile. Everything I touch, turns to something crazy. Came from nothing, I should tell you maybe. Cold currency, no urgency. Bag so heavy, got no energy for energy. Whip so clean, you know what I mean. Whip so different, you know can't intervene. Cold currency, no urgency. Everything designer, that's a certainty. Bag so long, I lost count of the sum. Started with nothing, now look what I become. Yeah. Butter on the feet, beer on the face. Everything I'm wearing got a song briefcase. That man was doubting, I was in the kitchen. Now I'm in the mirror and they're finally listening. Rolls Royce Ghost, appropriate name. Move so silent for this money and fame. Never chased it, let it come to me. Patience is the drillers, thing you'll ever see. Account looking healthy, never been so calm. Danger in my history, but peace of where I am. Mom got a house now, that's the only flex. Everything after that is just a bonus check. Special architectural, put it like a plan. Every single move was always part of the scan. And my neck was sleeping while I studied the game. Woke up on that level, never looked the same. You know it's mad. 3 years ago, I couldn't tell you where next month's run is coming from. Now I'm sitting here talking to accountants about offshore. That's not a flex. That's just what happens when you don't stop. Still lean on the body but tell it on the hand. Oh. So quiet, now they finally understand. Never had to shout, let the numbers talk. So I'm figuring silent, that's a different walk. Jet touching down in the city I own. Nothing area code, but it feels like home. Concierge already knows my name in the door. That's what consistency eventually scores. I'm not still chatting, I'm still moving weight. Not the kind of whip, portfolio whip. Property, man, the business in Dubai. Started from the bottom, now I own the sky. Violin playing while I count this up. Right, tell the money never quite enough. Not because I'm greedy, because I remember when. Zero in account, never going back again. Yeah. Yeah. Cold currency, no urgency. Back so heavy, got no energy for energy. Whip so clean, you know what I mean. Look so different, you lot can't intervene. Cold currency, no urgency. Everything designer, that's a certainty. Back so long, I lost count of the sum. Started with nothing. Now look what I've become. Yeah. Cold currency, no urgency. Cold currency, no urgency. Cold currency, no urgency. Cold currency, no urgency.